皆さん、こんにちは。アーサーです。今日はですね、英語を本当に話せるようになりたい方の励みになるメッセージをシェアしたいと思います。英語を話せるようになりたい。外国人の方といっぱい話したい。自分の世界を広げたいと思って英語を勉強していますか？でも心の中で外国人と話すのが一番なのを理解はしてるんですが、私の英語ってまだまだだし、変なこと言ったらどうしよう。迷惑をかけちゃうかも。正直怖い。もうちょっと勉強してから挑戦してみようかな。その悩みありますよね。僕の場合も昔日本語で日本人と話すことを想像するだけで体が震えるほど怖かったです。でもある日シアトルのバスであるハプニングがあってその悩みが消えました。まあ8割くらいはね。それからどんどん喋れるようになりました。趣味で英語勉強してるとか、特定のために英語勉強してるんじゃなくて、生の世界で実際に外国人の気軽に話せるようになりたいあなたの励みに少しでもなれたらなと思います。あとはですね、あなたの英語の練習のために英語で語りますが、英日字幕付きで提供しますので、よろしくお願いします。So, let me tell you about one of the most embarrassing moments of my Japanese learning journey. I was in Seattle riding the bus in Capitol Hill. I think it was the bus number 49 for those who know. And I got on the bus, I was looking for an empty seat, and that's when I saw them. I saw two Japanese ryugakusei sitting together, and right across the aisle, there was an empty seat. My heart started racing. I thought, wow, this is my chance. I can practice my Japanese. I got this. So I walked over and I was so excited. I tried to not look at them too much and seem weird. I tried to play it cool. And I sat down in that seat. But the moment my butt touched that seat, what should I say? What if I sound strange? What if I scare them? What if I say something rude? My mind went completely blank. What do I say to them? What am I going to do? And so I was hesitating and I looked over to them and then without thinking, I just blurted out, 日本人ですか? And they looked at me, eyes wide, surprised. はい。All right, great. They responded, but what do I say now? They're looking at me. I'm looking at them. I have no time. I need to say something. もしよかったらシアトルを案内しますよ. The moment the words left my lips, I knew I had messed up. I just offered to be their tour guide out of nowhere to complete strangers on a bus. And how do you think they reacted? 大丈夫です. Scene rejected. And here's the worst part. I couldn't leave. We were both still on the bus, riding to our final stop. So I had to sit there in my embarrassment for 15 minutes until they got off the bus. Now, of course, not making eye contact, just staring at my phone like it was the most interesting thing I'd ever seen in my life. But every minute on the inside, I was beating myself up. Why did I say that? How could I be so stupid? This was so embarrassing. And then the bus stopped. They got up and left. And I breathed a sigh of relief. But after they left, I was still on the bus for a little bit, and I had time to reflect. At first, I felt terrible. I was replaying the whole thing in my mind. Why did I say that? That was so weird. They must think I'm such a creep. But then I started to really think about it. You know what? It actually wasn't that bad. I mean, nobody got hurt. I said something a little strange, sure, but I didn't insult them. I just offered to show them around Seattle, which was weird for a stranger on a bus to say, but it wasn't mean. And also, they said no, and I stopped. I didn't argue. I didn't try to convince them. I didn't ask again. I wasn't being しつこい. I wasn't being pushy. I was not respecting their response would have been the real problem, actually. But I just accepted their answer and I left them alone. And because of that, I made a small mistake, and for a few minutes, I felt uncomfortable. They felt uncomfortable, and then life went on, the same as always. What actually changed because I made that mistake? Well, nothing. I'm living my life. They're living their life. They're probably already not thinking about me. And now, this story is just a funny story I can share with my students and my friends. But after thinking about it a bit more, I realized actually my life wasn't the same. It had changed, but in a good way. The situation was actually better than before. Now, why was that? Because I got real-world experience. I got an opportunity to learn real-world communication. And I started thinking, okay, what I said was strange, but what could I have said that would have seemed natural? And then I realized, I could have talked about my experience learning Japanese. I could have built a common connection first, like I talked about in our Zatsudan video. And even if they said no or they didn't want to talk, well, on the bus, I could have just said シアトルを楽しんでください. And then the interaction would have ended on a nice note, and there would be no kimazui feelings anymore. And that's when I had a big realization that changed everything for me. Here's what I realized. 1. People are generally kind, as long as you are kind and respectful to them. 2. I can visualize the situation ahead of time. 3. I can have an escape plan if things don't go as expected. 4. Even if things go wrong and I make a mistake, life goes back to normal and I learn and grow. But 5, if I don't get real-world experience, I cannot have that realization. Once I realized that, everything changed. I was less shy. Of course, the fear was still there, but it was easier to overcome. I started talking to people a lot more easily. I made more Japanese friends, and my Japanese improved dramatically. Here's the truth. A lot of times, what we want in life is on the other side of our fears, and we need to overcome them. And if you try and fail, it's okay. The situation goes back to normal. But through each experience, you learn. You can reflect on what to do better next time. And if you keep that up, you will definitely achieve your dreams. So if you're afraid to talk with foreigners, I totally understand. But I want you to remember, your English doesn't have to be perfect. You won't bother them if you're respectful. And you don't need to study more first. What you need is the courage to try and a simple plan for what to say and what to do when things go wrong. That's it. Start small. Maybe prepare one topic that you can talk about. Maybe you can think about one question you can ask and then just try. Even if it's awkward, even if it doesn't go perfectly, you'll learn something. Because as you take action, the next time will be easier. The time after that will be even easier. And before you know it, you'll be having natural conversations, making real connections with people from all over the world. And I believe you can do this. The most important thing, though, is to take that action. ということで少しでも励みになれたらとっても嬉しいです。僕みたいにたくさん勉強してるのにいざとなった時頭が真っ白になって言葉が出てこないっていう悩みを抱えている方が本当に多いと思います。だから IU-Connect を作りました。IU-Connect ではこの考え方に基づいて生の世界で英語を実際に話せるようになる方法を学んで早速実践しています。今では937人の生徒がその頭が真っ白になる問題を乗り越えて外国人と友達になったり仕事で英語を使ったり人生が変わりました。その実際に話す感覚を身につけた方法は無料 ebook と動画レッスンにまとめました。 興味のある方はぜひこちらをクリックするか、概要欄にあるリンクをタップするか、こちらの QR コードをスキャンしてご登録ください。As always, enjoy your English adventures and これからも一緒に世界とつながりましょう。See you next time!